If you are receiving this transmission, you are the Cynical Militia. You are listening to Professor Cynical on all available frequencies. This is not a test. Coming to you from a studio in Glasgow, this is Professor Cynical.
Good day, you absolute legends. Welcome back to the Community Talk Show. I'm your host, Professor Cynical. Now, today's topics, ladies and gentlemen, are amazing, but I do have one, first of all, that I'm pushing right ahead of the queue of everything else because everyone needs to know about this and it does affect your saves and you run the risk of breaking your save. So let's get right into this one. So over on Good Guys Free Discord channel, he posted this warning that was taken from the No Man's Sky subreddit, and the user Extreme Nitro posted this warning. So it has been shared in the No Man's Sky community already. But we have warning. Do not warp to another galaxy with your freighter if a corvette is landed on it. You will lose it and corrupt your save. Yeah, so anybody who has already done this, yeah, this is why the warning is here, because people can lose saves, and this can affect permadeath players as well, like all spectrum. And if you are on permadeath, as you know, you'll lose your save entirely anyway, and there is nowhere to get back off a permadeath. So this is very, very, very big news right now. So long story short, I landed a corvette on my freighter before moving onto the other galaxy via the center of the galaxy. Made sure to use a different ship and remove technologies, etc. And once I teleported onto the planet of a new galaxy, my screen went blank and I was unable to move, and my temperature was 0.0 C. And once I was able to swap to my main multi-tool and use the scanner helmet, my screen went white and corrupted. After that, I reloaded my restoration point and I spawned in my freighter in the previous galaxy and my screen was black, but I could still move and jetpack around. Then I closed the game, went back to my save. I was now in the space station of the new system in the new galaxy, and I didn't have my corvette in my menu. The game then started to glitch like hell. Decided to give up my 434-hour save. Youch. P.S. I was in a sort of outer space-like area when I popped in on the new planet because it said I was calling a pickup ship when I called my corvette. Couldn't get pictures in time to post. I'm on Xbox Series X, by the way. So everyone, take heed right now. This warning, do not jump galaxies. If you have a brand new corvette ship that you've made or whatever landed on your freighter, don't do it. Don't jump. You will break your save going off of this information. This is absolutely vital, and right now everyone needs to take warning. Everyone needs to make backup saves and make sure that you do not jump with corvettes on board your freighter. I know it's a very specific circumstance that you would need to do in order to make this happen, but the fact is this can happen, so take full warning. Amazing. Thank you very much, Extreme Nitro, for going ahead and alerting everyone to this. And thank you to Good Guys Free as well for posting this up. I'm hoping with this video as well, I can also get the message out that much further. But yeah, big news. Don't jump with a corvette to another galaxy because it is very dangerous to do so. So until that gets fixed, don't jump with corvette in a freighter. Just don't do it. But on other light-hearted news, ladies and gentlemen, we have this that was also reposted by Mr. Murray. No Man's Sky has reached 110,000 concurrent players on Steam for the first time since 2016. 110. Now, I know the last time we did this talk show, it got up to like 98,000. That was the peak, and then it started to go back down again. But it's now gone up to 110,000. The community has absolutely loved the Voyagers update. I can't even express enough what has changed about the game, because yeah, they added in shipbuilding properly for the first ever time, but it's not just shipbuilding. It's completely changed the way that players are playing No Man's Sky. It's unbelievable. This one mechanic, ladies and gentlemen, this game mechanic that they have added into No Man's Sky has changed the game in so many different aspects. People, especially play multiplayer with the friends, it's amazing. It really is. And just remember as well, That's 110,000 concurrent players on Steam. That's still amazing. But Steam only shows, a third, a fourth of the picture? Because it doesn't account for Xbox players, it doesn't account for PlayStation, it doesn't account for, Nintendo Switch, it doesn't really account for other aspects unless it's Steam related. So, there are just so many other variations of No Man's Sky right now that are not being accounted for. But Steam alone, 110,000. I highly suspect with every other platform tallied, that is more probably, 300,000, 400,000 concurrent players? Something ridiculous like that. That would be my guess. I don't know that for sure. But if you had all other consoles and all other platforms that No Man's Sky is on, because remember, you also have the Xbox Game Pass, which you can play on PC, which obviously don't use Steam, it uses Microsoft services. So even though you're playing on PC, it won't count towards Steam. So, you got all them as well. So at the end of the day, I highly suspect it's a lot more than that, which absolutely mind-blowing, incredible, absolutely amazing. And the team at Hello Games, honestly, if you're watching this right now, and I said it already, if you go ahead and start adding actual game mechanics like this into No Man's Sky, and not just eye candy updates with a few cosmetics here or a few new building parts here, but actual meaningful updates like this with new game mechanics, these numbers, if you continue to go down this road, these numbers right now, they're amazing right now, but in the long run will seem trivial because you are absolutely dominating the space exploration gaming market right now. Hands down. Keep on adding more stuff like this. Don't just keep adding eye candy. And the community will respond in kind with these kind of numbers. And like I said, it'll only compound. The more you update the game with these kind of mechanics and expanding the game like this even more, the players will be there. The numbers will be there. But yeah, absolutely amazing. And yeah, let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Do you think that the team at Hello Games should carry on implementing in updates like this with game mechanics rather than just eye candy? So as always, I posted the next round of questions up on all of my socials, and this is what I asked. So good day, you absolute legends. Here is the next list of the talk show questions. Do you think the Voyagers update has changed No Man's Sky for the better or for worse? With the end of 2024 launching Worlds Part 1 and then early 2025 Worlds Part 2, and now late 2025 we have Voyagers. What's next? What do you want to see? And should Hello Games keep adding more game mechanics or focus on environmental and eye candy going forward? As always, leave me your comments below. And guys, you was very, very vocal in the comment section over on Discord and on my community post. So let's go and read your guys' comments about the questions that I asked, because there is quite a few to get through. So Captain of the Steve puts this, the positives. Voyagers is a game changer, and with Sean's deep dive, I think he knows that, as he said, what it means for the future. I am hoping that we get the same makeover for freighters, and I hope in time they will rework the Anomaly/Nexus. Now, we already have seen some changes with the Nexus, with the new landing pads, but I know what you're talking about here, like a full-on revamp. Perhaps even the stations as a landing pad layouts now kind of feel like an afterthought than a design choice. Orbital 2.0 LOL. Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. I mean, they did just seem like very much, we have some space here. Let's just slap on all these new landing pads. So yeah, I can kind of see where you're going with that. That said, I hope the station override lets us build a modular space station. That would be peak. I mean, we already know now with the new ships that they definitely can do modulation building. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could let us build an actual freaking space station with all modular parts. That would be that would be amazing. That would be amazing. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, and I really do hope you're on to something there. Everyone bookmark this video, because next year this could very well be a reality. What this update has shown me is Hello Games can implement big changes. I thought this would be technically impossible so late in. So did I. I didn't think they was ever going to go down this route, but I'm really glad they did. Yet they did. and it's a banger of an update. But more than that, it's reignited my hope for unlocking future potential. I am completely on par with you on this one, Mr. Captain of Steve. It has reignited that same flame for me, mate. Completely agree. The negatives. Multiplayer and the use of these new ships is a hot mess in the Nexus. It really is. It's so bad. And a mess any place else. It works and then it doesn't work. Multiplayer needs some real love and polish. I have been saying that for years. Absolute years. That multiplayer needs a lot of love and polish, and TLC especially with this update. I honestly think the multiplayer code is having an absolute meltdown right now trying to handle all these new Corvettes. It's not taken away from the update, because the update is brilliant, but I mean, the foundation alone, like with the multiplayer and that, is trying to hold up such a beefy update. It's struggling. It is struggling. Not sure regular ships will be seen used often anymore. Dust collectors of the past era now, LOL. I mean, I might use my old ship when solo just for easy of use. I mean, I am worried about that. I'm not going to lie. I am really, really worried about that. Because obviously with these new ships, what's going to happen with the old ships and the old layout of ships? I mean, not everybody is going to want to use it. I mean, I'm sure there are still going to be a lot of die-hard, Norman Scan purist fans out there that will only use the original ships, which is perfect, which is great. But I believe the majority now will want to build their own ships and to build ships to their own taste and their own liking, making those other ships more obsolete. So I agree. I agree, Captain. I really do. It's going to be a shame, but, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about that one. That's actually making me think about that now. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below, because it is a shame. But is it a necessary evil at the moment? Because it is a shame with all these new ships that you could make and build to your heart's content. It's going to put the other ones to one side for a lot of people. I didn't really think about that until now. Yeah, Captain, you've got a point there. You really do have a point there. Let me know what you guys think about that comment section down below, because that's kind of stumped me now. Things I hope that get added for this update. I feel we could do with a Corvette NPC that appraise our ships. Let us create a blueprint to share with friends and other players. Now, that would be excellent. Rather than just doing like a tutorial video, actually having a blueprint that you can share or put up on a marketplace or something and maybe sell that design. That would be amazing. Or he offers to buy our ships either for scrap if he doesn't like them, or to sell one if he does. Think Kronos, but for ships. I picture him as a large rotoid autophage, whatever, made of barrels of rusty gears with staff made of old scrap parts. I mean, I like your appraisal NPC idea. I think that would be really cool, but I really, really like the blueprint idea. I mean, imagine that. Being able to save your blueprint and then share that blueprint with friends, or sell it on a blueprint marketplace, maybe a live marketplace with players, and you can set prices and so on. I mean, that would be amazing. I would love to sell all my glitchy builds. Like with the world's smallest ship and things like that. I mean, that would be amazing. But yeah, I like your idea there, buddy. I mean, and then maybe when you buy the blueprint, then it will auto build it for you, so you don't have to then like build it all yourself. It will just like auto build for you, like in real time. It will show like all the pieces getting stacked and how the original person built it. You know what I mean? Like a recording, but not recording, like a hologram, but not a hologram. I hope you guys get what I mean. There is a potential there, and I hope Hello Games does implement that. Amazing comments, as always, Captain Steve. Absolutely amazing. Guys, as always, Captain Steve is an amazing YouTube content creator, so I highly recommend you go and check out his channel. He's mainly No Man's Sky stuff. He has some vlogs in there as well. He's a really talented creator, so definitely go and check him out. Link to his channel, video description down below. Amazing comment, buddy, as always. Eric Goff 1361 puts this: I'm loving the Voyagers update. It has brought a little life back into the game, but it seems like they haven't put much work into the multiplayer aspect. As Captain Steve says, I've noticed that It's just multiplayer is holding this thing up, and multiplayer wasn't very good to begin with. So they need to look at multiplayer next. Well, that's what I think. But we'll continue. Still a mess. Can't handle do anything with friends without some kind of glitch or a bug. I guess I was just hoping they would have fixed some of the multiplayer issues since this is a multiplayer patch. Explore with friends, but still love this game and still have faith in Hello Games that they will fix it one day. Y'all have a good weekend. You have a good weekend too, buddy. I mean, absolutely. At the end of the day, multiplayer in No Man's Sky, I have said this for years and years. Multiplayer has always been the thorn in the side of No Man's Sky. It's always been the afterthought. And the reason is, and the lore is, and I've said it previously, but we'll just quickly touch upon it, that originally No Man's Sky was going to be a solo experience, no multiplayer. And Mr. Murray said right at the beginning, 2015, early 2016, saying, look, we do not want multiplayer. We have no reason to add it in. This is going to be a solo experience. This is going to be a non-multiplayer game. They was absolutely adamant about that. However, the rumor is, and it's never been confirmed, but there are plenty of articles to suggest differently. But the rumor is, and we'll call it a rumor, is that Sony said to Hello Games, if you want No Man's Sky on our platform, we want it to have multiplayer. Otherwise, no deal. You're not going to have your game on our platform. So, reluctantly, Hello Games just tacked on multiplayer. They tacked it on. It wasn't anything that they originally wanted, but they tacked it on anyway in order to get onto the PlayStation platform. Now, I don't know how true that is. That has been in the speculative, community talk for a very, very long time. But that is what everyone says about it. And, take that with what you will, take that with a pinch of salt. But that's what I've been told over the years as well. So, with that in mind, no wonder why multiplayer isn't great. However, that was back in 2016 and early 2017 when multiplayer was properly added. So, the fact is that they probably do realize now that there is a want and need for multiplayer. They probably know by now that multiplayer is definitely driving No Man's Sky forward in 2025, especially, I would say, after this update. It's probably showed the team that multiplayer is really much a want and a need right now for No Man's Sky. So could they have a look back in the old code and rewrite it? I think the whole thing needs to be rewritten and re-implemented. Probably really, really difficult to do, because normally when they make multiplayer games in studios, they make the multiplayer and then they devise the whole engine and game around the multiplayer. Where No Man's Sky was, they just tacked on multiplayer at the end. The whole game was made without multiplayer in mind. So those are the two very distinct differences. So I think the team would really struggle to implement a proper multiplayer portion into No Man's Sky, like a rework, a proper fix. Not out of the realm of possibility, but I think it would be very, very difficult, and the team would have to try and figure it out. But I'm hoping, praying, that they do look at multiplayer again now after Voyagers and see that the numbers are there. And, with the numbers, it's probably very warranted that they look at multiplayer again. 110,000 players on Steam alone, which is incredible. So multiplayer needs to get fixed, and it needs to get fixed now. So fingers crossed they can rework it, rewrite the whole thing, and get it up to scratch. That's what I hope for, but we'll see. Paulo Enrique 21 DF puts this in Spanish. However, I will translate it to English, so I do apologize if anything gets mistranslated here. I'm just using the automatic translation. So here we go. This Voyager ship customization give the game a boost. Many people who weren't playing are now playing, and those who had stopped are back. It was a very good update. I think the only thing the game is missing now is the mechanic of getting our own space station and commanding an entire system. Or perhaps having more than one space station. With that in mind, I think they should increase the price of items in the game to better balance the prices. Another very good thing missing is battles against NPCs in an intergalactic war where we could conquer planets, thus having battles against the dominant races. Who knows? Maybe they'll create a new race just for this, battles against races and robots, not just against the Sentinels like today. I also wish they'd put Guardian monsters inside some aggressive planets. These Guardians would be like giant spiders, but stronger. These Guardians would be very powerful, and we could try and kill them solo or with friends. The prizes could be new armor, new weapons, new technologies, and new mounts and pets. In my humble opinion, these are the things I wish the game had a big hook. So I hope that was all said more or less to how you wrote it, the Polo. So absolutely. I have said for a very, very, very long time that, there needs to be space battles in game. I mean, we have done that already as a community event. There is a want, there is a need. But, this isn't just necessarily a PvP thing. As you said, a player versus enemy, an NPC. But, like, actual NPCs that are, spreading out in portions of the galaxy. Now, this doesn't have to happen in Euclid. There's 257, 6 or whatever galaxies out there. So it could just be in a random galaxy somewhere, where you would have to go in and try and take over regions and planets, but then defend against them because NPCs are trying to attack to take their own stuff back. I mean, there is just so many possibilities here. I mean, No Man's Sky could really expand on this so much. This could just literally be NPCs where no PvP elements are required. And we've seen games like this with Star Wars Battlefront, for example, the original one, where you would have to go ahead and, attack planets and, or if you lose that planet and have to go back to a different one. So it can happen. Will it happen for No Man's Sky? That's a big ask. It is a big ask. But the team have shown that even after all of these years of developing No Man's Sky, to never give up and to think that maybe something like this could happen, because the team are crazy and they add really big updates in, like with Voyagers, 9 years down the line. So I don't want to say that this is out the realm of possibility completely. There's still a chance. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think about that. Comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you want this in game, or don't you want this in game? Community discussion, that's what this is all about. Let me know your thoughts, comment section down below. So Peter puts this: I think we're going to get a freighter update that includes an expansion of the Corvette parts still in the game files, like the Infraknife platform, the Cyclotron platform, the 3 big cockpits that are not. Yeah. So I've already had a look at these in the game files myself. Using a save editor, I'm able to bring them in game. So all the parts are there. All the parts are working and functional. They're just not in the official version of the game yet, as far as my understanding. So there's definitely something to that. I think in the next update, or subsequential updates, they are going to be adding to the list of maybe new weaponry or something. It definitely seems to suggest that. So we'll see how that goes. But right now there is, like you say, those other weapons in the game files right now that if you have a save editor, you can bring them into game, but they are not officially in the game yet. So yeah, that's a very good comment. I think that's definitely what they're going to do. Username.exe not found 2943 puts this: I like it, but I usually only play solo, so the multiplayer aspect I'm not too aware of. But I have seen this bug, which was bothersome, but ultimately fine, where it's my own ship interlocked, but in a different way to my ship, so I can't climb into my ship since something's blocking it. At least during the expedition. Suppose now we can build these Corvettes in the future, like 3 or 4 years time, assuming the game's being updated, or if there's like a No Man's Sky 2, there are gigantic shipyards where we can make our own freighters perhaps, and even fly in them. So, bugs are still very prevalent right now with the Corvette update, but we always know that with updates comes bugs. Some bugs are worse than others, some updates are worse than others, but this time around it's a very difficult position to be in, because normally with the amount of bugs that are currently existing in No Man's Sky with the update, normally we would all be like, look, what the hell is all these bugs? But give credit where credit's due here. with this ambitious kind of update and this ambitious, Corvette system and building system that they've implemented, Hello Games hasn't been sat on the backside where they would normally release updates after a launch, maybe 1 or 2 days prior after that. I'm talking the same day, they had lists and lists and lists of bug fixes. And there's been like that now pretty much every single day. It's been lists and lists and lists and lists of bug fixes. And it's not just even a case where they've uploaded it to experimental and then left it there for 3 to 5 days, which is usually what they do. But within a day, they're out of experimental and being pushed to platforms. Live, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, officially on Steam, which must cost the team some amount of money, because the reason why they go on experimental first is to test them out, but to kind of conjugate all of the updates so then it's just one big batch that they're sending over for verification to other platforms, because every time you submit a new build to, a new version of No Man's Sky, which is exactly what it is, to, Xbox or PlayStation, then Sony and Microsoft bill Hello Games a lot of money for them to test it in order to make sure it's working for their platform. But the team haven't done that this time. They've just been sending them out as the fixes have been happening, fixing all of these problems. So if you're having a problem like this, chances are, wait a few days and it'll be fixed. And I have full support from what I've been seeing right now from the team at Hello Games. That's exactly what they're doing. But use Zendesk, report any problems, and I'm sure it will get fixed with the team that are really getting ahead of all these bug fixes. But, I can't really complain this time because, yeah, there are bugs with this update, but they are getting fixed, like, rapidly fixed. So, any bugs that you do experience, like I said, Zendesk, going to be the best way, and hopefully we can help the team at Hello Games get this game completely bug-free. That's the vision, that's the dream, but let's see if we can just help them to help us. Probably the best way I can put it. So, Lonely Star Official, it's definitely good, but tons of bugs even after the patches. Yep. So, like I said, Zendesk. Help the team, help us. If we can help them, they can get the game fixed for us. So, keep doing that, but I'm sure anything that you send them over will definitely be looked at. But as always, what else you can do, ladies and gentlemen, if you are having any problems with the game, any bugs, and you've already sent a Zendesk report about it, then leave me a comment down below with exactly what your problem is and your bug and what platform you're on. And anything you send me, I'll also post a Zendesk on your behalf as well. I'll batch it all up and send it all off into one. And obviously, with this video, if the team watches my content, which sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, then they'll have the comment section as well that they can look at. So if you have any problems at all, comment section down below, and they'll take a look at these bugs as well. First chapter puts this, writing this before reading any other comments, but here it goes. Voyagers with shipbuilding and the ability to use them as a home is significant. Positive change, hate the phrase, but game changing really does fit. I completely agree, it really does, it is game changing. What's next? Really believe that they will be driven by an aspect of Light Nor Fire that can be ported into No Man's Sky. And Mr. Murray has already said that the technologies that they are working on for Light Nor Fire, if it can be adapted, because it's the same game engine essentially, but if it can adapt it for No Man's Sky, they are doing, and they are back porting between games with new technologies. Hence how we've got the new wave system. Worlds Part 1, Worlds Part 2 was born from what they're doing in Light Nor Fire. So the fact is, are they making these modular ships, or the modulation, should I say, the modulation aspect, the technology that they're using right now, where did that come from? Is that going to be a part of Light Nor Fire as well? Some kind of modular building system. Obviously, you can't have ships in Light Nor Fire because it's not that kind of game. But I'm talking about the technology behind it. Where did that come from? Because I don't think that was just made for No Man's Sky. I think that has already been implemented in Light Nor Fire and been ported over to No Man's Sky. So, and they're just using it for shipbuilding. But it could be for other things. Who knows? Maybe for building your own ship on waves or something. I mean, that would be incredible. But I digress. Really believe that it will be driven by the aspect of Light North Fire that can be ported into No Man's Sky, so tough to know. What I like would be the Glass Realm and Void Mother Arc. Personally prefer gameplay over graphic and art style over photorealism. No Man's Sky nails the Chris Voss 70s science fiction vibe, and having grown up with that is a like. I mean, I completely agree, because for me, gameplay and mechanics are more important than eye candy. You can have the most beautiful looking, realistic game out there, but if there's nothing to do in it, then yeah, it's great to look at, but then you're going to get bored pretty freaking quickly, because at the end of the day, if you wanted to see, realism, just go and stand outside. You can go and see the real world right now, but it's the gameplay. It's what you can do in the game that is important. I would say way more so than the actual graphics of the game. The graphics help, the graphics are nice, but without actual gameplay, it's not really much going for it, so I completely agree. Default controller puts a speculation and would like to see a little intertwined these days. Next big update next year after Redux, October/early November. Probably a pretty update in terms of visuals and a rinse and repeat milestone expedition. Not a lot content wise, hoping fishing related. I don't know why I'm hoping that. Okay, fair enough. Corvette landing pads for planetary bases, very light possibility at Trade Outpost 2, which would be a precursor to POI overhaul if that happens. CVT edit station at Settlement possible. Love Voyagers, I'm just waiting for someone more talented than I to build Voyager 1 and 2. I mean, God, imagine the Voyagers 2. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we had Worlds Part 1, and then we had Worlds Part 2. So we've got Voyagers with all the new stuff. I mean, it's not in the realm of possibility that they could bring in a Voyagers 2 and bring in even more ship parts. Because right now we have Corvettes. But, maybe they could bring us in new different types of ships and ship parts and make them big and small and whatever the case is. I mean, drone ships even. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but, there could be a Voyagers Part 2. What would that look like? What would you like to see in a Voyagers Part 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. The Tiger 34 puts this: they should bring other parts of the game up to speed, like more water vehicles and pilot our freighter around the system. Now, obviously, they do, with the new Corvettes, they do have an autopilot feature that will take you to a planet or wherever you want. But it would be really cool if you could then set the Corvette to orbit the planet, just like in a nice circle or something, a bit like the International Space Station in real life. That would be freaking amazing. I can imagine that. That would be pretty cool. Actually having the option to orbit planets or orbit a space station or something. Have like a different background or something. That would be amazing. Having your ship, having different views and scenic routes as you're building your ship and you live in your ship, and yeah, completely agree. I think that would be pretty sweet. So over on my Discord as well, I asked the same questions over there. So TC Gamer puts this: hello Professor Cynical, I really think Voyagers has changed No Man's Sky for the better, because people can create any ship they want and customize it the way they want to customize it. Walking inside the Corvette ships is also incredible in space. What I want to see from future updates is adding more dialogue options to NPCs and maybe some combat and creature improvements in some way. Going forward, I think Hello Games should focus on environment, even though Worlds Part 1, Part 2 have happened, while still releasing updates to improve the mechanics of the game. Completely agree. I think that, and we have touched upon this before, right now NPCs in No Man's Sky, they are dumb NPCs. They are very simplistic. They have the same sort of walking pattern, and they also give the same exact dialogue every single time. They never ever deviate. But they could make it where, they have some kind of AI function built in where you get customized answers to questions and maybe a little bit of backstory and lore about the NPCs and what they've done and where they come from. They could implement something like that. But yeah, definitely an NPC update of some way, some description would definitely be nice. So yeah, completely agree. So I'm just going to put this: Expedition Voyagers, as for me, improved the game immensely. I mean, completely agree, Mr. God. Completely agree. HD or Hello Games have certainly improved No Man's Sky, and with the speed of bug fixes, makes everything more enjoyable. 110,000% agree. I really do. I mean, the rate that they are fixing bugs right now in No Man's Sky it's incredible to see the team working so hard on this. So any problems, Zendesk, and they'll be fixed. But yeah, completely agree. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, as you can see, the community is absolutely loving this new update. I'm loving this new update. This is by far the best of the best update that has ever happened in No Man's Sky. And the numbers from the community are reflected on this as well, with 110,000 players playing No Man's Sky right now on Steam. I mean, it goes to show that everyone is loving this update, and I hope the team continues this path, this direction, implementing new gameplay mechanics. But let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the update in general. And yeah, let me know your thoughts, feelings about everything. Comment section down below on everything that we've spoken about today. But as always, that's where I'm going to leave you today. Thank you all very much for watching. And as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.
Join the Cynical Militia on Professor Cynical's Patreon. No exclusive perks needed. Just your passion for epic space adventures and bold discussions keeps the galaxy spinning. Choose your tier. Fuel the mission. Repent Jar. $1 a month. Forgiveness for your ad-block sins. A pack of Monster. $5 a month. Keep the creative thrusters firing. Absolute Legends. $10 a month. That got me thinking. $50 a month. A bold, questionable financial decision that screams you're all in. Why join? Every pledge strengthens the Cynical Militia, keeping Professor Cynical's YouTube channel a thriving hub for No Man's Sky fans, craving news, updates, and unfiltered discussions. You're not just a supporter, you're part of a galactic community that dares to explore and think differently. Don't just traverse the stars, own them. Enlist now at patreon.com/ProfessorCynical1 and let's conquer the No Man's Sky universe together.